was a virgin with rage. So need a cute girl my age.
I never wanna hear you say
I have a boyfriend. Tell me why I'm stuck as a virgin.
this is so ridiculous.
Tell me why
I don't even know where the fuck I found this. Alright, that's enough of that.
Tell me why I never wanna hear you
So
say
stupid.
I have a boyfriend.
Jesus Christ. Chris Chan, what have you done to us? Alright, guys, Chris Chan part 3.
What made him this way?
His parents, the internet,
What is the
autism.
attraction? What keeps us fascinated?
That is
This is
interesting.
the story of Chris Chan.
First things first, fucking turn those goddamn closed captions off.
Hello, my name is Christian Chandler, age 22 at this time. I will be 23 on February 24th, 2005.
Damn.
Anyway, for over a year now, I've
I was in
been
7th
trying to
grade.
attract an 18 to 22-year-old boyfriend-free girl, 18 to 21 before February 24th, 2004,
I bet.
which is this year.
He really wants to get it wet,
Anywho,
bro.
been trying for over
Wants
a
to
year
get that
to
dick
attract a
wet.
Girl, boyfriend-free girl, and I have failed. And you know, when you have so many failures at this time, you can't help but feel sad, you know, and depressed. And yet here it is about Christmas time, and well, all I want for Christmas is a boyfriend-free girl.
Chris prepares for Christmas 2004 by singing 2 of his songs for the camera. He performs So Need a Cute Girl,
Tell me why I so need a cute
That was not
girl
on purpose.
my age.
followed by All I Want for Christmas is a Pretty Girlfriend.
All I
Jesus.
want for Christmas is a girlfriend. She has to be 18 to 22. Well, at this time of year,
And she has
all
to
I can
be
say right now
18 to
is
22.
I hope Santa will comply with my request and bring me a pretty girlfriend.
Bro, oh my god. Bro, I just about said the soft A version of the N-word. Like, bro, my dude, Santa is not... You're a 22-year-old man. Like, has his parents not told him that there's no man going around in a fucking red hat giving out fucking gifts and shit? And there definitely isn't going to be a man that's going to kidnap a chick for you to fucking basically just to sleep with and make your fucking mom wife, which is exactly what you want. Let's be realistic.
And so, happy holidays from me, Christian Chandler. By the way, you can call me Chris in public. And thank you.
I really hope I never see you in public, man.
Christian whipped his camera out for Christmas Day too, and documented the state of the house at that time.
'Twas Christmas Day, and all through the house, the creatures that were stirring were my family and me and our 2 cats.
Oh, God.
And we wander upon our wondrous Christmas tree, with a star that was made so delicately.
The star on top of the tree is in fact
Yeah.
Sonichu.
Oh, my
Chris
God.
reveals that his dreams were dashed that day.
And a Christmas present that was supposed to be for the girlfriend that Santa brought, but unfortunately, she didn't show.
You can't be fucking serious, man. You cannot be fucking serious. He really thought that there's no way. I don't know that can't be real, right? I mean, I could almost believe why some people thought this was originally just some like elaborate troll, because this is fucking insane. Like, there's no way. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Chris introduces his audience to his parents.
And now we wander in on my family. Say hello, Father.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
My Christmas movie.
He's just wanting to get the fuck out, man.
Well, I'm gonna put it onto VHS anyway.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
A smaller Christmas tree down here. And our mother is asleep here in a dark area. Would you care to share a Merry Christmas with the world, Father?
The tour puts a spotlight on the extent of the hoarding situation.
Bro, it's
in the
everywhere,
house,
bro.
As Chris visibly has
Oh my
trouble
God.
navigating through the hoard.
Care to say something to the entire world?
Merry Christmas.
Yep.
After the tour, Chris documents the
Man.
gift exchange, revealing the interpersonal dynamics of the family.
Okay, yeah, it's recording.
Bro, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, this is honestly crazy to look at. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, who the fuck am I to tell people when they should or shouldn't have kids? But for fuck's sake, dude, when you're... maybe you shouldn't be having kids when you're fucking 60. Right? So that way when you're in your fucking 80s, like, you're... I mean, it's just... like, no wonder he ended up with horrible autism. His parents are fucking psychos, man. Like... They have no consideration for the fucking life that they brought into the world. They never did from the very beginning. Because if they did, they would have... there's no way they would have went through with this, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, I've seen people have kids in their 40s, and if they're in good shape, and they keep healthy, and, you know, they've got their shit in order, you can make that work. But, I mean, if we're being honest, anywhere past your 40s, you need to stop. Like, and that's just... I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And, yeah, I mean, it's become more common for people to have kids in their 40s, especially nowadays. But, like, you know, come on. There's a certain point where you have to fucking stop. Because you literally risk giving a kid autism. Like, you're not going to be able to, your body is not going to be able to supply the proper oxygen and nutrients and fucking blood to the fucking life form that you are creating into this world and bringing into this world, and then it ends up with fucking, like, a lack of oxygen or what have you. And then, of course, they end up with a fucking degree of brain damage. And then it's like, oh, wow, what do we do? And then, of course, they never wanted to fucking raise this kid, so they just let the internet do it.
The Christmas tree. We're gonna open presents.
Right.
Chris presents Bob with a card.
Hi,
I'm
David.
supposed to read it?
Yes, read it.
Am I supposed to read it out loud?
Yeah.
I'll
Read
see.
to Mom.
Do I have to?
I want to thank you all for your support and love throughout my fantastic love quest.
Love quest. Oh, my God.
And if Santa doesn't bring me one, no Thomas.
Bro.
Like I asked him, then I'm going to need some support finding a boyfriend free.
He's fucking laughing, man. Even Bob can't take this shit seriously. You could tell he's, like, reading it in his head because he's terrified about, like, actually he's embarrassed in front of his own fucking family to read this shit out loud. You know what I mean? I mean, he probably didn't expect that Chris would put this video out on the internet, because the internet really wasn't that big at this point. Not like it is now, anyway. But, I mean, for fuck's sake, man. This was literally, like, right before social media took off. Like, a year before social media took off. Because, like, MySpace was gonna fucking blow up, like, right after this.
It'll come, Christian. Hope you all like my present.
Okay.
Today I'm thinking of Christmas and remembering you all. Merry Christmas, Christian C.
Yep.
Christian gives Bob the option of receiving the Puppet TV show Fraggle Rock on DVD or on VHS. After Christian discreetly implies that he wants to keep the DVD for himself, Bob caves in and chooses to take the VHS.
Yes,
So you want the VHS?
yeah.
Here you go.
I'm not much for the other.
DVD.
Why do we have it on both?
I gave him a choice, remember? You remember he originally wanted DVD? Yeah, it's Fraggle Rock, Father. That's what's on there.
I see.
No, you fucking got some kind of a bundle deal on it, and you just wanted to be a cheap bastard with your fucking government money you get every month.
videos on that VHS.
VHS worked better than my system.
Yeah.
Chris presents Barbara with a Lego set.
What? Bro, all these gifts he gave his parents are really just gifts for himself. Like, Barb is not gonna fucking use that Lego set. Bob is not gonna use the Fraggle Rock shit. It's all just gonna end up going back to Chris, and I think he fucking knew that. Oh my god, man.
Boring stuff.
He gives her a plush doll of the Japanese character Hamtaro.
I got you, Hamtaro.
What?
That's cute.
Yeah.
Who is he?
It's a Hamtaro. He's a little hamster.
Jesus.
He's a little bitty hamster.
Oh my god, bro.
The family discussed the possibility of a surprise visit from Sarah.
Oh, that's my present for Sarah. Because, you know, she might come over. Well, she did last year, remember?
Chris attempts at an embrace with his mother, but ends up hurting her instead.
Here, oops, I'm sorry.
Don't work my head.
I'm sorry.
He does it again.
2 boxes together here. I'm sorry.
Chris gives Barb another present. A snow globe with him in it.
No glow. With me in it.
Jesus, Chris.
Merry Christmas, Robert.
It's also got Sanchu in it. Look. See?
They
Now
don't
one
give
says
a
Sanchu
fuck,
and the other.
dude. They don't give a
I got
fuck
it over
about your
Walmart.
fake fucking pirated cartoon.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. Merry Christmas.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
Now we can go back downstairs where it's warm.
This is so insane.
Yeah.
Snappy New Year, huh?
Not on the couch.
Yep.
After the gift unwrapping, Christian went back to his room to record a video recapping the events.
Well, now this ends our family Christmas of 2004. I did get some nice gifts, but it does not compare to having a boyfriend-free girl that I can make it to a girlfriend. But unfortunately, I was hoping for her to come, but she didn't. My lifelong friend, Sarah Hammer. You know, if she had not been paired up with that jerk Wes Isley, I could have her, but seriously though.
How do you know that he's a jerk, Chris? Have you ever met him? I'm willing to bet you've never met him.
And says she can help me in my quest to get a boyfriend.
You're just pissed 'cause he's sticking her and you're not.
1823 as of February 24th, 2005. Well, anyway, that pretty much sums up my Christmas season for this year. So, as they say in showbiz, goodbye, folks.
As he entered 2005, Christian continued his tried and true tradition of pacing around the mall, hoping to attract a boyfriend.
Damn, man. I want to fucking go into that Red Robin, bro. Give me some fucking bottomless fries. Hook me up, dog. Hook me the fuck up.
His activities quickly caught the eye of Anna McLaren,
Ah!
an employee of Pack & Son at Charlottesville Fashion Square, who described her encounter with him in a blog post titled The Tale of the Crazy Pacer. There was a guy who paced in front of Abercrombie & Fitch. He'd come and do it for hours on end, just walking back and forth. He was an okay-looking guy, not evil-looking like creepy molester dude. So he would pace for his allotted time, then leave. Sometimes, as he paced, he would sing or shout. Nobody really could ever tell what he was saying. Oh yeah, and he always wore the same shirt. A nice little long-sleeved red and blue number that had a gold crest on the left side, and white collar and cuffs. Then, one day, he decided to start pacing on the Pac Sun side, so he started pacing in front of our store. We were doing floor set, and Lin noticed that crazy pacer kept looking into Pac Sun as he paced. And this day, he was acting particularly crazy. He'd pace and pace, then stop and shout something at the wall, then keep pacing. And he also did some singing, even getting into the vibrato falsetto junks. It was hilarious. So anyways, someone, I can't remember who, suggested that the next time he looked in, we wave at him. So they waved, and Christian waved back.
Bad idea.
After some waving back and forth, Christian took the initiative and entered the store. He came right up to the counter that I was standing behind, and he looks right at me, all fidgety and twitchy, and he goes, "You look to be about 19 years old, right?" He then proceeded to introduce himself. "My name is Christian," he said, "but you can call me Chris. I'm Christian W. Chandler." "Oh," I said. "Hi, Chris." "So," he continued, "do angels have names?"
Oh my
I found
god.
out later that he meant to say, "Do angels like you have names?" Poor guy was so nervous he didn't get it right. Anna introduces herself, then Chris talks about eyes. My eyes are 2 different colors. One of them is green and the other is blue. That's because I had pink eye a while back and one of them stayed that way. What color are your eyes?
No
I
way.
was pretty grossed out by the pink eye story,
Ew.
but I told him anyway.
And by the way, I just want to throw this out there. You guys, that's like obviously like because the dude doesn't wash his hands after he wipes his ass. So he got like shit in his eyes, and that's how you get pink eye, is by getting fucking fecal matter in your eyes. So if you know anybody that gets pink eye, it's because they're a nasty ass that doesn't wash their fucking hands. And you know, by the way, I mean, it's like, this is how fucked Chris was. All it took was for these girls to wave at him, and he immediately is like, yeah, they must want to date me, yeah. So he walks over there and fucking just harasses the shit out of these poor girls just trying to work their job at the fucking mall.
Sometimes blue, sometimes green, and usually gray. Oh, that's neat. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? Yeah, I said. He attempts to ask her out, but Anna declines. He eventually sells on the internet as a forum for future communication between them. Christian came back and handed me a card with a crudely drawn Sonic the Hedgehog and some other yellow Sonic-looking creature on it, along with Christian's name, email address, and website. It was a homemade business card. That's my email address, and you can just email me sometime, okay? Okay, I said, not intending to email him at all. Little did either of them know, but this was the start of a friendship. But for the time being, Chris's contact with Anna was sparse.
You know, I almost feel bad because it's like, I can tell you for an example, you know, I've had some encounters similar to that before at the mall, where like I would be at Barnes and Noble or something with my fucking coffee, and I'd be looking around at books, and I'd go through the manga section or whatever, and I could think of at least 2 different occasions where I was kind of going through there, and I would run into a kid with that obviously had like a degree of autism, right? And it was fairly obvious. And, you know, all you gotta do generally is just be nice. I mean, yeah, it could be a little fucking awkward at times and shit, but I mean, generally all you gotta do is just be cool. It's easy to kind of just talk about, obviously, like, if they're looking at manga and, you know, you're there looking at manga, you know, you've got something in common, you can just bullshit about that and they'll fucking love you. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, man, it's got to be like a whole different fucking degree of just, I don't want to say uncomfortability, because it wasn't necessarily uncomfortable. I mean, I guess it kind of is to a degree, because it can get sort of awkward. But like with Chris, there's like this such a heavy degree of autism that it's like he really doesn't pick up on any sort of social cue whatsoever. He's got this one-track mind that is like solely on woman is fuck toy, woman fucking is there to basically be my mom and fuck toy and cook my food and pay the bills, and like that's all he's looking for. And it's just like, it's incredible how he's able to keep that one-track mind in every instance throughout life, no matter what. I don't know what the word would be for it. It's certainly not impressive. It's disturbing. It's crazy. I don't know how the fuck he does it. I've never seen anything even like that even remotely compares to that. You know, Chris really is quite an abnormality.
In February,
Whoa,
Cartoon
shit.
Network's Adult Swim
I swear to God, I thought I had like accidentally changed it to a fucking episode of Harvey Birdman for a second.
block held a contest which asked viewers to make their own commercial advertising the release of the cartoon series Harvey Birdman.
Great
Attorney
show.
at Law, Volume 1 DVD set.
Great show, fucking
Christian
awesome.
sent in his own unique take, in which he mentions his ongoing feud with Mary Lee Walsh.
Hello, I hired Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, to help me, Christian Weston Chandler, in my case against Bernie Walsh, who years ago shared my heart. And he has won the case for me, and you have won for me a Harvey Birdman 2-disc DVD box set, which comes out April 12, 2005.
He finishes with a brief promotion of his custom cards depicting himself and Sonichu.
This is about Christian Chandler's Sonichu production.
Regrettably, the winning entry did not feature Chris. In response, he vented his frustration at losing on the Adult Swim message board. My entry was very dramatic and a lot better than that piece of poo. or any of the others that made the top 5 as well. I'm very upset about that. My Quick's Harvey Birdman spot was the best, and I feel sorry for you, Adult Swim, for not noticing that. You all should take another good look at it, and seriously.
Man, he's got a hell of an ego. I used to go to that website back when I was a kid.
Sonichu, Issue 0.
Oh my god, it's the first one.
The issue is further divided into episodes, much like a television show, with a different story in each one. Episode 1 begins in an open field 5 miles from the city of Station Square.
5 miles.
Pikachu observes fighting in the distance between Supersonic and the perfect Chaos Monster. Pikachu gets caught in the scuffle and collides with Sonic, the impact releasing a rainbow which lands on a girl Raichu 15 miles away, who then transforms into a hedgehog-like creature and calls herself Rosechu. Meanwhile, the Pikachu somehow inherited Supersonic's powers in changed form and joins Sonic in the battle, defeating the perfect Chaos Monster. He christens himself Sonichu. Christian himself interjects here and there. He draws himself having one blue and one green eye, as he had told Anna. His eyes are in fact different colors, but the difference is nowhere near as profound as in his illustrations. He then proceeds to introduce Quickville, and reveals that he is also the mayor of said town. He then goes on to introduce all the main characters of the story, including Mary Lee Walsh. He saves himself for last, and devotes a full page to talk about Christian Weston Chandler. The next episode concerns Sonichu and Rosechu meeting and quickly falling in love, sharing a kiss underneath a spray of fireworks. In episode 3, Sonichu confesses that he has a dislike for pickles, as does Christian in real life. This is followed by the introduction of the evil foe, Natesurk, whose name is simply Christian backwards. After the battle is won, Mayor Chandler drives off in his car, carrying the Virginia vanity plate, Sonichu, identical to the one on his real-life car.
Oh my
It
god.
should be noted that Sonichu
Whoa,
refers to
whoa.
Chris as
Let me
his
see
father,
that
even though
fucking...
his
Let me see that motherfucker, man.
Sonichu,
God damn
identical
it.
to the one on his
Come play with me. How fucking creepy is that shit? Come play with me. Yeah. Plan 9. Autism work for a cure. Yeah.
real-life car. It should be noted that Sonichu refers to Chris as his father, even though his creation has nothing to do with Christian. The comic ends with a sub-episode starring Chris in a story based on his run-in with the mall police. However, in this version, he clutches his medallion,
Oh, yeah.
says Electric Hedgehog Power, and transforms into Chris Chan Sonichu, who largely looks like a blue-colored Sonichu, making him look like the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Meanwhile, the Jerkop equips metal armor. Needless to say, Chris defeats him by cursing him into experiencing horrendous bad luck by using his Curse Kamehameha attack. Towards the end of March, Hannah, who worked at Starbucks in the Fashion Square, approached Christian during his near-daily pacing and asked him out on a date. After she left, I became very excited and oh my god all over. After calling mom and eating me nuggets, I lifted the chair with such cheer and grace and spun around with it like a dancer. Then I put it
Wow,
back where
you
it
gotta be
was.
kidding
I
me.
felt that my love quest had finally come to an end, and I so elated that my shattered heart had a full, fast recovery. I went to Starbucks, and we talked about basic things. I showed her my Sonichu scrapbook. She was very impressed. I gave her my email and both my phone numbers on a Sonichu site card, and she gave me her email address. I was very attentive as I took notes about her and maintained eye contact. As I left her, I gave her a double-take flirt.
What the fuck is
was
that?
the rise. Now here comes the fall. As I was sitting at my spot, thinking about future steps for later dates, Anna and Dana told me they went to talk to Hannah. She told them that she was setting me up in a prank. I could not believe it, so I found and asked Hannah. Sadly, it was true. Then in major shock, my heart shattered again by 85%, and I let out a big no. His outburst of negation resulted in Chris getting banned from the mall again. He devoted the second sub-episode to this misadventure.
I gotta say, though, those two girls that straight up just told him what was up, I mean, you could tell they're obviously, like, fairly kind-hearted people. I'm pretty sure that one girl, Anna, is, like, I think that I'm pretty sure she tried to stay friendly to him all the way up until like a couple years ago when the news broke about what happened with his mom. Then after that, I think she pretty much fucking cut off all ties with him. But, you know, for a while, I think she really did try to like be a genuine friend to him. And she found out very quickly where that got her.
Not long after, he completed his second Sonichu comic, Sonichu Issue 1. Pokemon's Giovanni teams up with Sonic villain Dr. Robotnik to create their own Sonichu in order to defeat the real thing. Unfortunately, a blunder causes Sonichu's DNA sample to get corrupted with cherry cola, producing an imperfect replica of our hero.
He is
called
black!
Black Sonichu, also known as Blotchu. Blotchu captures Rosechu, so Sonichu and Sonic team up to rescue her. After combating Blotchu and the new Metal Sonichu, they eventually save Rosechu. The style of the comic became more text-heavy, with some conversations so convoluted that Chris numbered the lines in the order that they should be read. The following month, Chris's review for Sprung, a dating simulation game for Nintendo DS.
What the fuck is that? Oh my god, this is so stupid. What the fuck is this? Sprung? What do you even say to that? Like, what the fuck? Who bought this and thought, oh, this is gonna get me laid, bro?
Was published in Nintendo Power. I originally bought the game because I needed some lessons on what to say to or do for a girl.
I'm gonna be straight up. I know this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's like, dude, if you're that desperate, for fuck's sake, just fucking just pay for a hooker. Jesus Christ. If you're that fucking desperate, like you're a grown adult. God damn. That might sound fucking terrible, but Jesus.
To make a long story short, I developed a fear that all the pretty girls are already paired up with a boyfriend. I've dubbed this social phobia noiophobia, after the Spanish word for boyfriend. Anyway, before Sprung, I was afraid to approach most women. FYI, I am 22 years old. I tried to silently attract a boyfriend-free girl, mostly with signs, for over 1 year and 4 months. Then Sprung provided me with general things to say and do, so I felt more confident.
Did this make the fucking Nintendo Power magazine again? Is that what he said? That's insane. How does he keep doing this? Somebody at Nintendo was getting a fucking kick out of him, man.
When I tried my newfound expressions from the dating simulator, I forgot my fear of the infinitely high boyfriend factor, and I met a couple of lady friends.
Oh my
with whom
god,
I
it
feel
is.
more comfortable. So thank you, Nintendo and Ubisoft, for the dating advice
Look,
that this
he fucking wrote in, from Virginia. Yeah.
frustrated virgin needed. Christian C. On April 13th, a University of Virginia student wrote a blog post that included her observations of Christian, whom she renamed Sonichu, hanging around the Alderman Library. So Sonichu returned to Alderman today. I'm not sure what to make of him. He sits in his chair and draws his Sonichu comics. Harmless, I ask me. Yet I feel like he knows he's different. He knows that the world rushing in front of him is not his own, surrounded by the brightest students in America, whatever that means. He sits in his chair and draws. 23 years old. I'm not sure he even graduated high school. In front of him, text of Plato, Faulkner, God, and Kleist's swirl. Does he have the capacity to understand these works? Whether he can or not, I am not sure. But there is something in his eyes that realizes that there is a level of understanding and thought that he is unable to partake in. As he slumps lower and lower in his chair, with each student he eyes reading or holding a book, he falls into himself, into the markers and colors on the page in front of him. He seems intelligent enough to understand that he does not understand, and that is the hardest part of all. In early May, Chris released Sonichu Issue 2. This marks a turning point in the comic as the story begins to focus on Christian rather than Sonichu. Episode 7 concerns the Antuant Prophecy. When Sonic explains the mysterious prophecy to Christian, Chris reaffirms that he is the creator and father of Sonichu. They enter the Destiny Cave and unknowingly release an ancient evil power. Chris also meets an ancient leader of the Cherokee clan, who reveals that Chris is his reincarnation.
God.
He is told that he has to unleash ancient powers to defeat the evil by using his Sonichu medallion to transform into Chris Chan's Sonichu. The story ends in a cliffhanger, with Sarah Hammer and Wes Isley getting possessed by mysterious forces. Between episodes 7 and 8, Chris inserts an advertisement.
What? What the fuck? Why? After using Axe body spray, I felt scentily delicious and confident. Seriously. Yeah.
For Axe body spray, in which, ignorant of the societal norms of hygiene, unknowingly confesses that he believes that bathing makes people smell exceptionally nice, to the point that people would compliment you, and that using Axe body spray is just as effective as bathing. Episode 8 continues with Wes meeting his past self, who is a member of the Wasabi clan, and turns into Wesley Sonichu and vows to kill Chris. Sarah also sees a vision and meets the queen of the Cherokee clan, and transforms into Sarama Rosechu. Meanwhile, Chris Chan Sonichu accidentally transforms back.
This has gotta be the
into his
gayest
human
shit I've
self,
ever seen in my
making him
life,
vulnerable
man.
to attack from Wesley Sonichu. He turns himself into a ball and goes for a flying attack, prompting this exchange from the protagonists. What the? Sonichu, run! You don't have to tell me twice, but during the Stone Age...
This is insane, man. I mean, fucking... Clay Aiken and Andy Dick could fuck live on YouTube and it wouldn't be as gay as this.
Chris figures out that his attacker is Wes Isley, and confesses how jealous he is of him for being with Sarah, who is eavesdropping nearby. Wesley reveals that he only wants to steal the Cherokean crown. Chris changes into Chris
Cherokean
and fights
crown?
Wesley
What?
Sonichu, who eventually knocks Chris out and steals the crown, which inexplicably just came into being. Before Wesley can finish him off, Sarama intervenes and fires a lightning bolt arrow at Wesley, pinning him to an unsacred tree. In the final episode,
That was taken from
Sarah breaks up with
Inuyasha,
Wes,
by the way.
who cries out no while shrugging. They learn that Quickville, which is a vibrant community with happy people, cool chicks,
You think I don't
and a
fucking
frustrated
enjoy
male,
some manga
is under
too,
attack
Chris?
From a giant stone golem,
I fucking
which is
do.
under the control of Mary Lee Walsh and a
Fucking do,
mysterious talking
motherfucker.
orb. So
I got
Chris
some,
Chan, Sarah and Wesley
some
fly over
AOT
there
and
to
some
fight
Tokyo
them.
Ghoul right here.
The orb reveals itself as the ancient evil and announces that he is Count Graduan.
I have every issue of
personification
AOT.
symbolizing the pain and sadness of Christian graduating from high school. The three heroes beat them off for a little while, but Walsh and Graduan escape, vowing to fight another day. In the epilogue, Christian and Sarah chat on the couch, and unfortunately for Chris, she reveals that she has found herself another boyfriend named William, and thanks Chris for being a great friend. Christian dedicates an entire page to Sarah Hammer, his lifelong friend, and offers some highlights
That
of
is
their
so
time
creepy.
together. Currently, I don't get to see he as much as I did, because she found herself a boyfriend while I was in Richmond. But I often wonder how she is, and if she is happy with him. I share my troubles with her in my illustrations, letters, and over the phone. I always appreciate the little moments I have with her. The final page is a call to action for all Sonichu
Do you?
fans.
Do
in
you
which
though?
Chris
Because if you did actually appreciate her as a person, you would just accept her as a friend and you would like quit trying to fuck her. Like, you know, I mean, it's like the fact that you just fantasize over her the way that you do proves it. I don't think you really do value. I don't think you ever really did value her as an individual. You don't have like any real respect for her, Chris. You didn't, because if you did, you wouldn't fucking do half the shit that you do.
expresses his wish to have Sonichu produced into a bona fide franchise by Nintendo America. The comic concludes with Sub-Episode 3, which is a dramatic reimagining of Chris's conflict with Mary Lee Walsh, who is the head of the private villa of corrupted citizens, the base of operations for the villains in the Sonichu universe, the name of which is derived from the acronym of Piedmont, Virginia Community College. With Sonichu Issue 2, Christian comes closer to blurring the line between real life and his comic book world, creating his own reality. In Sonichu's News Dash Issue 9, Chris announced that he will attend the Anime Mid-Atlantic Convention in Richmond, Virginia on all 3 days. Since he has put himself into Sonichu's world, he will cosplay as himself. Talk about self-respect, huh? Also, he will be watching some of the good anime, getting some souvenirs, participating in some of the events, and just having a good time. Also, he will have some printed copies of Sonichu Premiere Issue 0 on hand. But if you want a collectible copy, You will have to find him and ask for one. He stayed 2 nights alone in a hotel room, and during the convention, he handed out copies of Sonichu Issue 0 to unsuspecting attendees. On June 22nd, Christian recounted the events of the past 2 days. I had my setup at the McDonald's at Walmart, and apparently complaints were made. The 2 manager-jerks, a senior comic, and a black fat jerk. He looked a lot like the leader of the jerk cops at the mall.
He has to, dude, definitely a little bit racist. I mean, you know, I think we're all a little racist deep down, you know? You know what I mean? But, you know, I mean, come on. Whenever the first thing you're saying is like, this fat black, fucking extra black, security guard, fucking extra black dude, fucking goddamn Cherokee. You know, it's like always something to do with race. I think he bitches about Jews and shit at some point too. And he definitely bitches a lot about gays. And we'll get to that.
Mall, whom I refer to now as the Jerk Keef, approached me and took me for a fall with my trying to find a boyfriend-free girl, like I had been doing for the past over 1 year and 10 months. We argued and disputed until the 2 of them left to call the police. While they were gone, I had taken off the sign from my Nintendo DS and hidden it on the back cover of my diary. When the jerk cops came, they were all like, "What seems to be the problem?" And the married Seinor comic was like, "Where's the sign?" And I was, "What sign?" And another argument was had between the 4 of us, in which I never gave any of those jerks eye contact, because none of them deserved it. So, I got kicked out from the McDonald's, not the Walmart, for the rest of the day. Now for what happened today. I was starting to set up my things, and the B manager was getting in my face. I feel that he really hates me. And he was like, "Don't set up your stuff. Don't push me." I was not going to use the Nintendo DS sign today anyway, but he did not want my pixel block sculptures at all. I stood up against that manager. I continued to build, and I dictated my situation into his face with a song and dance.
Oh, yeah,
He
I
went up
bet.
to the Walmart manager, and he was like, "Hey, let's talk." But I sat silent for a minute. Then I said to him, "I do not speak to any man other than myself, because they all have taken all the pretty girls, leaving me with none."
Dude, that is literally like the fucking like definition of a fucking incel, my dude. Good lord. And you want to know what's actually insane? I don't know if this is true because I don't look that deeply into a lot of what Chris does now, but I had heard that when it came out recently that he had gotten this like retarded girl in Finland knocked up, allegedly, if that's even true. There are people out there there are fucking incels out there that are jealous of him. And it's like, what? You're jealous of Chris Chan? What? Because he stuck his dick in this like really unattractive retarded chick? Like, wow. You really need to seek like some serious therapy and figure out what the fuck you're doing with your life. Because if you're so fucked that you're jealous of this fucking freak, you actually might be fucked for life. You actually might and probably are fucked for life. I'm not joking. Like there's people out there that are like actually jealous of this kid. I don't know that that's actually true. I didn't dig into it, but it really doesn't shock me. I was told by people that orbit all this shit, because I do still hear things, that apparently there are some weirdos out there that are super jealous for whatever fucking reason.
Verbal combat had started, and during the fight, I ran off, still giving verbal punishment, as well as the finger, and many Kamehamehas. I nearly backed up onto him with my car, and I gave him another finger.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Then I
vehicular
dashed off.
manslaughter, that's good.
Now, I feel sad, because I've nowhere else to go to attract a boyfriend-free girl.
What do
And I
you
feel
mean?
very
You're fucking 22, bro. Go to a bar. Go to a fucking singles club, dude. Like that's where do you think adults go to get with like people of the opposite sex? Have you never I know you watch TV all the time, Chris. I know you do. I know that's all you do. There's no way you don't know. I knew when I was fucking 10 years old. I knew. Adults go to clubs and bars when they want to fuck somebody. You know, I mean, I get they didn't have like Tinder back then, but even then, like that's basically what you do when you go to a bar. It's basically just like live Tinder with drinks.
furious with those mana-jerks and all men other than myself and my father. Chris began believing that there was a conspiracy involving all the men in his town. They all are against me in finding a girlfriend of my own, but I will not give up on my long and tedious love quest. I'll find a new attraction spot, somewhere in Charlottesville, Virginia. There has to be at least one 18 to 23-year-old boyfriend-free, caring, smoke-free, non-alcoholic, white girl out there somewhere. Chris dramatized this entire ordeal in sub-episodes 4 and 5, but his adaptation also featured the manifestation of his dream sibling, Crystal, his twin sister. A mere month later, he caused more trouble, but this time at Target, where he sat waiting to encounter a boyfriend-free girl for hours, taking gross advantage of the free refills at his disposal. I was at the new Target store, just hanging around, not bothering anyone. And, from out of the blue, these two mana-jerks asked me to leave because they said I was loitering. I was not.
Bro, they're not gonna just let you fucking sit around and just drink the shit out of all their soda, bro. Like, I mean, I'm sure they probably don't care if you get like a refill, maybe two, maybe. But if you're just like sitting there fucking refilling over and over and over again and all day and you're just sitting there dicking around, bro, they're gonna get shitty. Like, people pay for those drinks, dog.
I was there hoping to find an 18 to 23-year-old boyfriend-free girl like I usually do. Then, from out of the blue, after I told them off, they came back with two jerk-cops. I was slightly intimidated, but mostly annoyed and ready to strike back on them. They asked me to leave and never return. I did not want to leave. I would have left peacefully. In fact, I was ready to go. But I had a prepared speech to say to them stupid jerk-cops. And, during the middle of my speech, they chased me, pulled my pants, and pinned me to the floor. 5 jerk-cops dogpiled on me as I struggled to get free.
Chris was the original George Floyd. He was the original retard George Floyd, right? And the way he talks about his pants, he's making it sound like they like tried to rape him or something. Come on. And by the way, 180-pound body. Sure, Chris, you're definitely over 200 pounds. There ain't no way that you're not.
1,000 pounds of sausages on my 180-pound body was seriously a cutoff for my breathing flow. They handcuffed my wrists and legs, and they hog-tied me. Not only did I feel humiliated from being the victim, but I was angry at them, not only for handcuffing me, but once again thwarting my efforts in trying to find a boyfriend-free girl. They drove me to the county jail, but fortunately, they did not keep me there. I was released to my family. Chris was charged with trespassing and disorderly conduct. It was terrible, but my mother and I are going to get back at them in court.
Sure.
In fact, I learned that the jerk cop who arrested me was called Baggett. That was the only thing about the situation that was hilarious.
Oh, really?
Replace the B with an F, and you can see how funny it was.
Oh, yeah?
However, after attending 2 court hearings, the charges were dropped.
I think the only Baggett is you, Christian.
This event was recreated in Sonichu's sub-episodes 7 and 8, but in Chris's reality, he endured much greater torment, and came out victorious in the end.
Sure.
Less than a week later, Chris had another run-in with the law. This time, a minor fender bender when he rear-ended the car in front of him. He was fined $30 and also paid $56 in court costs. In August, Christian returned to PVCC after the end of his 1-year suspension. It was around this time that Anna announced that she was moving to Utah. Her announcement also somewhat coincided with her 20th birthday, so Christian and her friends organized a birthday/farewell party for her, with Chris claiming that he picked out and bought the cake himself. Throughout August and September, Chris engaged in back-and-forth conversations via MySpace with 2 female students, Jelena and Lindsay, but despite all his efforts to meet with them, it ultimately came to nothing. In September, Chris finished Sonichu Issue 4, which was merely a compilation of sub-episodes 1 through 8. He claimed that his mother didn't want him making any more stories concerning his own life, so he obeyed and stopped making sub-episodes. In October, a user on a Sega forum began a discussion thread about Sonichu, in which members discussed the comic and Christian's personal antics. This was the earliest documented online discussion concerning Christian, But the original Sega forum hosting site has since been shut down, and there's no known archive of the
That's a
discussion
shame.
chain.
This is
In
why
November,
Kiwi Farms exist
Shoujo
nowadays.
Beat, a manga
One of the
anthology
reasons.
magazine, published Chris's letter, which vaguely concerned the manga Absolute Boyfriend.
Wow. How the
Riko
fuck does he
Izawa.
keep making it into these magazines, bro? What the fuck? Oh no, man. He made it into like a fucking an issue of like what is basically it's not Shonen Jump, but it's definitely one of their affiliates.
In Absolute Boyfriend, sort of has the same problem I do.
To those who don't know, Jump they're a manga magazine that is released every month. I don't know if it's still released in the United States. I know that it was because I used to have a subscription to it. But basically, I know it's still put out in Japan. Basically, what they do is they would put out a bunch of different mangas. Like they would have a bunch of different chapters. Like for example, they would put like chapter 43 of Tokyo Ghoul or whatever in it. Matter of fact, Tokyo Ghoul came up in Jump. And basically, it would be serialized in that. And they would also do like that and a bunch of other mangas just like it. And if it would get like popular enough, eventually that's how it would be made into an anime. Like I would say 90% of the animes that you watch nowadays probably originally started off as a manga that was serialized in some form of Shonen Jump or one of their affiliates.
She can't get a guy, and I can't get a girl. Here's my sitch. All the pretty girls are already paired up with some jerk, leaving me with none to choose from. Also, nobody can tell, off the bat, a paired up from a boyfriend-free girl. At first, it's equally hard for Riko to find a girlfriend-free boy. But then she's granted this wish, where she gets a girlfriend-free boy, although he is a robot, delivered to her doorstep. Lucky girl. I'm 23 years old. One would think I'd have gotten a girlfriend by now, but no, I haven't. I'm stuck in the situation where if my parents should pass away, I will be a very lonely virgin.
Jesus Christ.
Some months later, a fellow reader sent in a reply to Chris.
Pretty
Why is he only
schmitty.
looking for pretty girls?
Bro, that's fucking funny. Pretty schmitty. Bro, this dude is fucking roasting him. In your November issue, a guy was complaining about how he couldn't find a girlfriend. Why is he only looking for pretty girls?
There are plenty of girls who are not supermodel gorgeous whom he could date. It's not the outside of the package that counts, but the inside. A girl can be pretty on the outside, but might be mean or self-centered or have other problems, whereas another girl could be plain or even ugly on the outside, but quite a beautiful, kind, intelligent person on the inside. If more guys would think about what qualities they look for in a girl and make sure those qualities don't just focus on her outer appearance, they might just find a girl to go out with. Otherwise, many girls will think, why bother? He'll just leave me for the next pretty girl he sees. Megan agreed with her sentiment. Chris's advances towards Megan intensified, as is documented in their emails.
That poor girl.
She declined giving out her phone number.
By the way, I just want to say I am still fucking furious, man, that a bunch of these like Christian trolls actually fucking canned a documentary that was being made on Christian a few years back. And apparently these fucking guys that were making the documentary found Megan. And they had interviewed her and stuff. And they had like scenes of her in the fucking doc. And there's still clips of it out there floating around somewhere. But a bunch of trolls, like, for whatever reason, fucking put the kibosh on that shit. Maybe they thought that the guys shooting it were, like, complete weens or something. I don't know the whole story. Maybe it was justified. I don't know. But it would have been funny. Would have been, at the very least, it would have been interesting content, right?
And later in the same email, also declined his invitation to go out to a restaurant. In an email from December, she stated that she did not appreciate Christian trying to kiss her, and admitted that she's not interested in a relationship, but insisted they can remain as friends. She also confessed to accidentally discovering that he bought Megan a Nintendo DS, even though she had recently just gotten one herself. Through Megan, Chris was introduced to My Little Pony.
Oh, Megan. It all started with you. You're partially to blame for this, Megan. You're partially to blame for this. Oh, man, I remember Sailor Moon. I remember when they made, like, two of them cousins or something when they were actually dykes or something like that. I don't know.
And Sailor Moon, with Megan providing him with some of her own fan art. He also began
Excuse
making
me,
his own
lesbians.
custom My Little Pony
Sorry.
figures, including one that he made using his own hair. As an adult male fanatic of My Little Pony, he preceded the so-called brony
Dude,
culture,
oh my
which
God.
would only begin to blossom around 5 years later. Megan also requested him to bid on a collection of World War II photos on eBay, of which Chris was the winning bidder. In 2006, Christian's
Why?
online spending habits intensified, with Chris purchasing My Little Pony and Sailor Moon figures, pornography, and sex toys, among other things.
Bootylicious love doll.
In February
Whoa,
of
whoa, 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 whoa.
2006, Christian finished
Let me see this
drawing
shit. Let me
Sonic
see this shit. I want to see this
purchasing
weirdo
My
shit,
Little
bro.
Pony and Sailor Moon figures.
Oh my God. Pearl beaded prolong ring. Are those anal beads? Bootylicious love doll and anal beads. And a mystery DVD. Oh my God, bro. That's so gross.
Figures, pornography, and sex toys, among other things. In February of 2006, Christian finished drawing Sonichu Issue 3, which took 7 months to complete. The comic begins with the origin stories of each member of the chaotic combo, whose eggs were created in and ejected from the rainbow as seen in Episode 1. The green egg lands in the jungle. The electric hedgehog Pokemon that came out of it grows up to become Wild Sonichu. The blue egg lands in the ocean and is rescued by the Pokemon Swampert, which takes it to the beach just in time for it to hatch and become Bubbles Rosechew. The white egg lands in front of a church, and out of it hatches Angelica Rosechew, who is raised by nuns. Mystifyingly, after she evolves into her final form overnight, Christian is outside her window, bringing her a scrunchie and a pair of shoes as a gift. The red egg crashes into Nabe's Dojoshin and hatches. For some reason, Nabe is compelled to rip off the Sunny's tail, causing him to instantly evolve into Punchy Sonichu. The purple egg hatches in a cave, and the purple Sunny starts to telepathically communicate with the Pokemon Mewtwo, who decides to mentor it.
My God.
For months, this mysterious mentor taught the Sunny how to hone his pores, lift objects mentally and physically, and the outside world was like. Until one day, during meditation, the Sunny suddenly evolves into Magichan's.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. God damn it. Oh, it's Chris Chan's invisible husband. Yeah. Yeah, you like the video where he's getting arrested after he raped his mom and ran off to that hotel that fucking at the time Null and the Kiwi Farms, I believe, were fucking paying for. Right before they found out the whole deal and cut him off. There's that shit, the clip of him getting arrested, and he's like telling the cops, yeah, look out for my invisible husband. He's punching you. Yeah.
Sonichu. He then farts.
Okay.
The episode ends with a final bulletin which would have been more suitable for a televisual feast rather than a comic book. Stay tuned for when these hedgehogs meet. In the next episode, Blachu steals a Master Sunstone and through a comedy of errors is met with 4 of the chaotic combo. Eventually, the 5-member troupe teams up with Sonichu and they take down Blachu, leaving him in a bloody mess, accompanied
Jesus.
by a tweet sound effect, commonplace in cartoons. The comic closes with a fake ad for a call service that would send one of the 2 single men in the world a beautiful girlfriend or a monkey. In May 2006,
What?
Christian attained a CAD degree after 5 years of study.
Really? I'm actually shocked. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm willing to bet he's not able to use any fucking CAD program. I doubt he could use the fucking program that we used back in middle school for CAD.
Even though it should have only taken 2. For the graduation ceremony, he decided to wear the robe from his high school graduation instead. Now that Christian received this qualification, this made him more likely to get a job and advance his life towards building up a career, doing what he loved, and possibly even realizing his wish for the Sonichu franchise to become a dignified reality.
To this day, he still never fucking bought a job, man. Wow. To this day, he's still never had a job. Jesus, I can't fucking talk today. I'm about as retarded as he is. God.
making his dream come true.
Dude, what is with the things here? He looks fucking crazy, dude. You look fucking insane, Christian. What the fuck? Weirdo. You're a weirdo, Christian. You're a fucking weirdo. Weirdo.
What made him this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan. With Sonichu Issue 5, the story strays further and further away from the Sonichu storyline and makes Christian the main character, with the plot of the comic closely mirroring his own life. The comic begins with Sarah's wedding, with Chris attending in spirit, possibly alluding that he didn't attend her actual wedding. The episode also introduces two new characters, Megadula Skunk, based on a character created by Megan, and Sailor Mechtoon, indisputably symbolizing Megan herself. He briefly fights off Wes Isley, and at the end of the episode, Sarah thanks him for all the childhood years they spent together and wishes him good luck on his advances towards Megan. Sarah throws her bouquet at him,
Oh my
and
God,
he catches
dude.
it, believing this meant his own wedding would come shortly. Christian uses his comic to depict his inner monologue and fantasies to the world. I love Megan, yet she's not ready to return or seek it. I'd feel better if I could chat with her on the phone, although she's uncomfortable doing that. Our email communications are okay, but speech speaks louder than typed words. The artwork also changes to an unmistakably anime and manga style, perhaps in an effort to appeal to Megan even more. In the following episode, Christian has a lengthy discussion with Sonichu about his optimistic hope that he and Megan will get together, despite him admitting a few pages ago that she was not responsive to his advances. He acknowledges that he is so optimistic that he even stopped using his attraction sign. They're interrupted by the announcement that Mary Lee Walsh and the Jerkops are invading Quickville, so Chris teams up with Megan, Crystal, and the Chaotic
Oh my
Combo.
God, Chris.
During the climax, Crystal gets trapped in the dark mirror, and Christian comforts a tearful Megan who thought that she had lost Chris for good. His obsession with Megan is made crystal clear, and is further confirmed by the emails she sent to him. I know you know that I hate guys and I hate love, 'cause I told you a million times. So why do you keep getting too close and touching me? I really don't like it at all. I know you said 'cause you have
Megan was one of those, like, edgy fucking pick-me girls back in the day. But, I mean, you know, to be fair, you know, I'm pretty sure, wasn't Megan, like, a fucking, like, a teenage girl? Like, I'm pretty sure she was, like, a literal teenager, and Chris was, like, fucking, you know, in his 20s. I don't know, maybe she was a little older than that, but it's still kind of weird. Not trying to be mean, but Megan strikes me as a bit of a weirdo, too.
feelings for me and it's hard for you, but I'm sorry, this sounds mean. You really need to try and get over it. If you keep hanging on like that to someone who doesn't love you back, well, it'll only make you more miserable. You need to just accept the fact that I don't and will probably never love you. So you should just take a rejuvenating breath and move on. Advice to which...
Here's the mistake you made, Megan. You need to just straight up say, or you should have said, I don't love you and will never love you. Don't say and will probably. Because I guarantee you, Chris Chan fucking clung to those two words right there. And he probably is thinking, well, so you're telling me there's a chance. And he fucking tried to go for it anyway.
Chris refused to listen, as is evident in an email written just a month later. I'm just a little mad that I have to keep telling you to please stop touching me. It's like you're not wanting to listen to me. I tell you, then you say okay, but eventually you're back to the same tricks, and this time I really mean it. Even my other friends don't like it and think it's weird, so once and for all, could you please stop? You know I don't like it, so why do you keep doing it? It's not like you're gonna try and soften me or something. So, I don't want to have to tell you again, or I might get really angry. 'Cause you know, unwanted remarks or advances to a girl is sexual harassment, and I don't take that lightly. Chris's not so subtle attempts at getting her attention did not go unnoticed. Sometimes I get the feeling that you copy me to get me to like you, like Sailor Moon for example. The only Sailor Moon thing you had was that adult video, and since I told you how much I love it, then you start getting into it. Kinda like My Little Pony. That kind of thing really annoys me. I don't like it much when people get into something right after they find out I liked it first. When you said we had a lot in common, like Sailor Moon and My Little Pony, well, who loved Sailor Moon first? Who collected My Little Pony first? Okay, I know I sound like a spoiled brat, but can you see what I'm trying to say? I don't like being too in common with others. I try to be as different from others as possible. On June 27th, 2006, Patty Chandler was put to sleep.
Bro, they left that dog outside in the fucking cold like year-round. They never even let that dog in the house. I fucking hate people like that. If you have a dog and you just like make them stay outside all the time, like you're a fucking asshole and you shouldn't have that dog.
Christian read out the eulogy, which he wrote himself. My family, furry friends, anyone else present. We are gathered here today to pay our last respects and wishes to our dearly beloved Beagle Spitz, Patty, who has departed from our world here on Earth to a doggy heaven where she will be happier because she will run free and play with all the other dogs who are already having fun up there. I will always remember Patty for all the lovely memories she had shared with me from when I picked her out of the litter at my Aunt Karina's house in Red Oak, Virginia, the time I watched my old best friend, Sarah Hammer, take Patty by her front paws and danced a bit. The times I've watched her stand on her hind legs and then rewarded her with a biscuit bone. The times I've just sat with her in the yard and petted her head. I've always given her a bally scratch, where I stroke her head with all 5 fingers, like as if I was gently squeezing a rubber ball. The many times I've fed her a can of food and a cup full of dry food, and refilled her bucket with fresh water so she can drink it and wash her face.
What?
When Patty was brought to the vet on that fateful day, I was distraught with fright and concern for her health. I stayed with her during her final moments.
I'm not fucking buying this shit, man. You guys literally just left her out in a shitty pen in the fucking yard. Like, that's not... Why do that? Like, you obviously... If you don't want a pet, then don't fucking get a pet. Like, what the fuck, man? It's just like weird animal torture. It's fucking crazy. And this is coming from a guy that like grew up with parents that like were originally the type of people that like, especially my dad was the type of guy where he used to believe in like that animals shouldn't be in the house. And he used to always like kind of say that when I was a kid. And then gradually growing up, I was the type of person that would take in strays and I would keep it from my parents and I would fucking throw a fit if they would try to do anything about it. And then eventually they would cave. And then over time, when the animals would start to, you know, like my dad and they would take to him and take to everybody else in the family, then, you know, then there was nothing that could be said because they fucking loved them. But it's like to do something like this is just cold, bro. It's just cold. And for the record, my dad was raised that way. It wasn't really his fault. His parents were like that too.
With a hand on her head and a tear in my eye. When my mother was brought the paper that gave the doctor permission to send her on her way, I didn't want her to be the one to sign it. I raised Patty since she was a 6-week-old pup.
No, you didn't.
And I wanted to take the strain for signing that one-way ticket. It was hard for me, but it was for the best. So I signed that paper with a crying smile on her face saying, "We love you, Patty." After that, I gave her my final pets: hug, hand-to-paw hold, eye contact, ear rub, cheek-to-fur rub, and I sadly waved her for the final time, and I said, "Goodbye, Patty. I love you." As I stood outside, I heard Patty's last barks, saying, "I will always love you, Chris. Thank you." But we all must move on with our lives, with our beloved Lucky Mutt in our hearts and in our memories. So, Patty, may your old doghouse and surrounding flowers forever memorialize your blessed heart, your barks at the stars and strangers, and your loyal love that you have blessed upon me and my family and friends. Bark on and rest in peace, our beloved Lucky Patty.
What would you do for a
Damn, that
PS3
dog
and a
lived to be
chance be on
18. That's kind of crazy.
Robot Chicken?
In November, Adult Swim held another contest. this time encouraging viewers to submit a video wherein they would say what they would do for a PlayStation 3. Christian's video featured the appearance of his own makeshift PS3, which was in fact a PS2 encased in a mix of Lego and pixel block pieces.
Hello, my name is Christian Weston Chandler of Rocketsville, Virginia. What would you do for a PS3? What I would do for a PS3? I tell you what I do. Well, if I had the money, I'd wait in line, like all the other people did with their tents and all that good stuff. I'd throw away the cure for autism if I had it, because I want to get rid of that doggone lifelong curse that I've had. And, oh yeah, I would trade in my PS2 for another thing. Or, otherwise, I'd make one from wood if it was hard enough.
What?
But you know what I did? I did it. I made one from Legos and pixel blocks. And believe it or not, I actually play Guitar Hero on this thing. Thunder Horse!
In the beginning of 2007, Christian started working on a DVD called Yep, I'm on TV, which would become a collection of all his TV appearances and his...
Hold up. Yeah, the thing where he won that fucking competition. Oh my god. I think a lot of this is just a bunch of bullshit. Jesus Christ.
his homemade videos, in addition to a slideshow of his pictures up to 2007. He planned to make and release it to only a small selection of people, including Mrs. Sanford, with whom he got in touch via email. You may be able to help me in a portion of it now. There will be a slideshow projected from my PlayStation Portable, featuring not only pics of me growing up, but the friends, teachers, and relatives I've known and remembered, either from heart, like yourself, as well as yearbook signatures. As for what had happened during PBCC, in a nutshell, about midsummer 2003, I realized upon revelation that I needed a girlfriend to make into a sweetheart from the ground up.
Dude, this fucking poor woman, she's just trying to be a sweet lady and, like, you know, be an actual adult that could give, like, some sort of valid advice or something to Chris. Like, some sort of guidance, you know what I mean? Which is something he's never had. And he's essentially just bombarding her with all this insane bullshit. Like the most insane trauma dump in history, right? Good lord.
So, with the sign, which I've later realized that it made me look slow-minded, the R word, I've started my enduring love quest. The Dean of Student Services, Mary Lee Walsh, came out and tore my sign up right in front of me and said, "You're not gonna get a girlfriend this way or anyway." That bitch shattered my heart and murdered my soul. And it wasn't just her. The policemen imposters in brown, white, and red, aka the jerk cops, blue and black are the true police soldiers, also seriously indented the impression that Virginia is for virgins.
Oh my
not
god.
lovers. He talked about his high hopes for a future with Megan and ensured his former teacher that she would receive a copy of the DVD.
Oh, I'm sure she's
3
gonna
days
love
before
that.
his birthday, he completed Sonichu issue 6. The first story, titled Episode 12.5, is strikingly distinct from all the episodes thus far, which stars his recently deceased dog, Patty. The story opens with a creative blend of photographic backgrounds and a hand-drawn Patty, who wishes she could speak so she could thank Christian for all he has done for her. The next morning, Christian walks outside to feed her, only to discover his dog has transformed into an anthropomorphic dog-like creature who can talk. They spend some leisurely time together, and she tells Chris that she wishes to roam free outside her pen. Chris leads her indoors and shows her
This
his
is
room,
so
which
insane.
Patty calls crowded, and suggests that if he got a girlfriend, she would help him tidy up. Using a Nintendo DS, Chris reveals a portal which opens up to Quickville and declares the town Patty's new roaming grounds, where she can finally explore with freedom. The final page of the story is a simple full-page tribute to Patty Chandler. The next episode resumes where the last comic left off. As Chris and the gang debate the best way to rescue Crystal, they come to the conclusion that they need to acquire the 7 Sonichu balls to save her. They discover an evil green Sonichu, who then envelops Chris in a dark dimension in which he announces himself as the Sonichu form of Natesurk, who then reveals his true form and declares that he is, in fact, Reldnak Natsu Natesurk. As the name implies, he is completely the opposite of Christian, with his semi-bare chest symbolizing his raging homosexuality, which
what I
horrifies
thought.
and offends Chris. Meanwhile, Black Sonichu announces that he has turned his back on Natesurk, and now he is on friendly terms with Chris's friends, and has also all of a sudden developed a romantic interest in Bubbles. Chris and Natesurk transform into their Sonichu forms and battle, until Chris-chan somehow ends up back in Manchester High School. Just as Natesurk is about to deal the final blow, a phantom basketball knocks him unconscious. Chris is woken up by Megan, who tells him that Natesurk fell into a coma after hitting his head on the bleachers and is currently in the hospital. Bionic the Hedgehog reveals himself as the one who wielded the basketball at Natesurk's head. They reminisce about old times and how Chris hasn't drawn Bionic since 2004. Chris laments that he is 25 years old, having never even had a date. The dialogue suddenly becomes a promo for his up-and-coming Yup, I'm on TV DVD, which would not be available for purchase.
The narcissism, man.
The scene cuts to 10 weeks later, when Natesurk
The
awakens
covert
from his coma
narcissism.
with a fiery urge to murder Bionic the Hedgehog. On February 24th, 2007, Christian celebrated his very special 25th birthday. He held the joint birthday and DVD launch party at what appeared to be the game place. To mark the special
You gotta be
occasion
joking.
and to instill his wisdom
Oh
onto
my god.
others,
I couldn't tell that was a Girl Scout cookie box. At first I thought that was like fucking Steve Urkel. And I'm like, what the fuck? No, it's just fucking Thin Mints.
he recorded his important message video, in which he reflects on all he has learned over the course of
Bro,
his
what
life.
is going on with this
He
fucking
wished for it
cat
to
over
become
here?
an educational video
fucking
shown
cat
in
right
schools,
here.
But this goal
Look at this
has
shit. Look at this little bastard.
for the course of his life.
This little bastard is
wished for it
fucking
to
just
become
like
an
having a
educational
hell of a
video
time. I
shown
thought that
in
was a
schools,
squirrel at
But
first.
this goal has yet to be accomplished.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers, as well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here, and y'all are there.
Y'all are there.
This message is for everyone of the present and the future beyond this date, February 24th, 2007. My birthday, my 25th birthday. I am high-functioning autistic, and in my 25 years, I have seen and learned so much.
Have you?
And today, I intended to share some wise words that I hope each and every one of you will take to heart and allow for yourself and everyone else a better, brighter future.
He encourages his audience not to take up dirty habits like drinking or smoking.
You should avoid at all costs smoking, drinking alcohol, and intaking similar icky, dangerous stuff. And smoking will eventually cause cancer, and you'll be more likely to get heart attack, viruses, and your life will be cut drastically short. They don't
Okay.
call cigarettes and cigars death sticks for nothing other than killing you slowly.
Oh yeah.
If I could, I would take every last ounce of tobacco, put them on a rocket, and shoot them up to the moon.
He encourages boys to buy a My Little Pony figure to get accustomed to the female form.
Bro,
and
this
pretends
cat
to
is
treat
looking
it
at him
the
like,
girl
what
they
the
like.
fuck?
If you're a young gentleman, I recommend buying yourself a My Little Pony figure of your favorite color or
Bro, that
whatever.
little bastard is just
Now,
flopping and rolling
stroking
around
the
and having a
hair
hell of a
off
time.
said pony is very relaxing and therapeutic, and also rubbing it against
Dude,
your cheek.
so, all right, not to go off topic because this kind of ties in with this. I remember years ago, I was showing my girlfriend at the time some of this shit, and we were like halfway asleep and shit. You know, we were laying in bed at the time watching all this shit on TV, and we had it like streaming to my TV and shit, and like I was like halfway kind of in and out of sleep, and I kind of assumed she was as well. I didn't even realize she was really watching it that closely. And then like the next day, we were in line at it was some kind of gas station, 7-Eleven or something like that, and there was like some kind of like a toy, like a transformer or something, like on a rack, and she just kind of looks over and grabs it, and she starts going like, and then, all the girls, you should take this transformer and pretend like it's a boy if you want to go on dates, and just, I lost my shit in the middle of the fucking gas station. I had no idea she was actually fucking watching this shit and paying attention to it. But yeah, you know, there's another person corrupted by old Chris Chan. So thank you, Chris. You might be partially responsible for why that relationship didn't work out.
Nice. And also, you can pretend that the pony is that girl you want to take out too.
Oh yeah.
Take out sometime, and talk to the pony like you would talk to the girl.
And he recommends
And then take
that
it home
girls
and
get
fuck it.
Transformers.
Now, for the ladies, I recommend a good old Autobot from Transformers.
It's, dude, how fucking hilarious is it that he's using a transformer? Get it? Because he's a transformer himself. He's all about transing out. Yeah.
Because you can get to learn how to examine the mechanics.
Oh yeah.
And variations of each and every, of the Autobot you have. Like you would learn.
You can transform it into a dildo and then fuck yourself with it. Yeah.
Approaching and talking to that boy you've been flirting from a distance, or just been flirting with from a distance, and hopefully all you have to do is just end up and say hello. I mean, it's not so hard. All you have to do is say hello to the man, ladies. That's all. Everything will just get rolling from there.
He encourages girls to be more open to having a relationship with less attractive males, and states the importance of staying with your first mate, neglecting that both of his parents were married before. He finally stresses the point that it is crucial that boys and girls stay straight.
Also, keep in mind that while you're playing with these things, you should keep in mind of what your true original
You can't make this shit up, man. You can't.
Because it's like you're learning about that girl you want to take on a date, young man. Or likewise, you feel more comfortable to approach that boy.
God damn, I just got hit with a little bit of wax.
Checking out from a distance, young lady. And hopefully in due time or now,
holy
each and every
shit,
one
bro.
for you
I literally just got hit with a little bit of wax.
Girl for boy, boy for girl. Everything else is vice, as said by Dr. Kinsey.
Alfred Kinsey? You need, the last person you need to be looking into is fucking Alfred Kinsey, Chris. Jesus. This guy is a sex pest. To the highest degree.
If you stray away from the straight path, it can really jeopardize the entire
I don't think Alfred Kinsey
of the
said
world
that.
and the human race.
I'm fairly certain
This
he
video
didn't.
would become the final addition to his DVD.
I am Christopher Christian Weston Chandler. Live long and shine on in your very own unique way.
Is that supposed to be a Pink Floyd reference? Because please don't use Pink Floyd references. Not in this house.
Compliments will get you fuzzy wuzzies. War gets you prickly wicklies.
You're a prickly wickly.
Get you those two. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.
In March, Chris reignited communications via email with his half-brother, Cole Smithy, who had made a career
Bro,
for
oh my
himself
god,
as a
he looks like Cinema Snob. Doesn't he? Motherfucker looks like Cinema Snob. Wow, bro. Hold on, let me see if I can find. I'll show you who I'm talking. Hold up. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me see if I have. Fuck. Hold up. God damn it. Here, give me like 2 seconds. Look at this shit. Wow, I spelled that shit wrong so bad. But see what I mean? Fucking tell me that doesn't look just like the motherfucker, bro. Come on. Look, hold up. Look at this. Oh, shit, dude. That's so fucking funny, bro. Yeah, well, okay. You get the point. Is his... Yeah, that'd be so funny. Alright, well, that's about enough of that.
film critic.
Sorry.
This renewed interest was most likely in order to acquire his address so he could send his DVD to his brother. I have talked to Mom, and I quote her when she said, "I do not regret giving life to Cole. We've had a bunch of good years up till the madness.
The madness.
And all things considered, I still love Cole very much like any other mother would for her son. She really does." Cole's response
Whoa, I
was
want to
brutally
read. I
cold
want to
and
read
honest.
the fucking shit he said.
"I still love."
Hold up. "Remember your little bro? It's me, Christian C." He's trying so hard to sound hip. It's been a long while. I'm doing good. I graduated from PVCC with 2 computer-aided drafting and design degrees. And currently, I'm getting by with living with my folks and a monthly tugboat. Why does he say that? What he means by that is he gets money from the government for having cerebral palsy. Well, excuse, why did I say cerebral? He has fucking high function. He says high functioning autism. Well, I don't know why the fuck I said. Never mind. Anyway, yeah. Mama's doing okay. She's been retired for like over a year now. She feels happier not having to rush back and forth through traffic and all that hustle and bustle. Oh, I'm sure she loves fucking doing nothing. But currently she sleeps on the couch during a bunch of the day. Yeah, see? She just fucking just lies around all day fucking sleeping and not doing shit. Yet she does get up sometimes and go out with the family or do some work. We haven't seen much of our aunts either. I have talked to okay, blah, 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 blah. Never mind.
Cole very much like any other mother would for her son. She really does. Cole's response was brutally cold and honest. I grew up in an abusive household with Barbara and my former stepfather, Jerry, where physical and mental punishments ran the gambit, from bare-assed beatings to cold showers to bizarre scenarios, acted out with glee by 2 deeply neurotic adults.
I want to read part of this. It's very Christian of Barbara to not regret having given birth to me, but I'm an atheist. I also have no regrets about emerging from her womb. Although she is mistaken about the, quote, bunch of good years we supposedly had together. I grew up in an abusive household with Barbara and my former stepfather, Jerry, where physical and mental punishments ran the gambit from bare-assed beatings to cold showers to bizarre scenarios acted out with glee by 2 deeply neurotic adults. The treatment I received in Richmond, Virginia was another matter altogether. To raise a child in such conditions is inexcusable. Even at a very young age, I knew that they would abandon me. They were both irresponsible and incompetent parents who exposed me to traumas that I would rather not remember. As for Barbara professing her, quote, love for me, I have not seen any evidence of it in close to 20 years, and that's a very long time. Barbara's definition of love is a hackneyed, sentimental term that she uses to extract a response. Love is not something you say, it's something you do by staying in contact with a person, visiting, communicating, asking questions, and answering them. You will remember that in the 16 years I lived in California, Barbara only visited me 1 time. In the 11 years that I have lived in New York, she has never visited me.
The treatment I received in Richmond, Virginia was another matter altogether.
That's
To raise
crazy.
a child in such conditions is inexcusable. Even at a very young age, I knew that they would abandon me. They were both irresponsible and incompetent parents who exposed me to traumas that I would rather not remember. He continued to elaborate on his feelings towards Bob. The crux of my problem
I would love to actually see the rest of this.
raise a child in such conditions.
I apologize.
Responsible and
I
incompetent
just want to see the rest of
who
this,
exposed me
this
to
note.
traumas that I would rather not remember. He continued to
All right, I'll read as much of this as I can. The crux of my problem with Barbara comes from 2 sources. The first is Bob's bitter influence on her, which worked to separate our relationship, just as Bob did with his own children, with whom he has no association, which is true. If you remember in the last episode that I did here, we found out that Bob has another son who is a middle-aged man, like had gray hair and everything, and was openly telling Chris that he had a niece, which would mean that Bob has a granddaughter that he was completely unaware of. That says a lot, for one of Bob's kids to have a child of his own and then not inform him. To me, that says all you need to know. That tells me that there's probably is some validity to what Cole Smithy says in these emails. Okay, now back to this, sorry. The crux of my problem with Barbara comes from 2 sources. The first is Bob's bitter influence on her, which worked to separate our relationship just as Bob did with his own children, with whom he has no association. In nearly 44 years of life, I have never met a meaner, more reprehensible Republican cur than Bob Chandler. I hope that you will email me when he dies so that I can celebrate. Our mutual hatred has never been a secret, and it points out Barbara's proclivity to isolate herself via scurrilous mates. That's pretty accurate. The second and more compelling issue that permanently ruined my relationship with Barbara is the litany of lies she tells anyone who will listen about the identity of my biological father and about her marriage history. After lying to me about the identity of my father, Barbara refused to come clean and disclose the truth on the eve of my wedding. This might not sound like much to you, but I assure you that I spent 15 years attempting to track down my real father with no real help from the one person who could clear the air with a few words, your mother. As it turns out, Barbara was never married to the man she swore was my real father, Jack Dale Smithy, and to whom she said she was married. But she was married to a Rand Coleman Yates, a man who visited us when I was a child and was always introduced as a, quote, friend. I think the fact that Rand's middle name is Coleman tells you all you need to know about the true identity of my father. Yeah. Kind of sounds to me like Barbara was a fucking hoe. You know, just being a fucking cunt, jumping from dude to dude to dude, which, doesn't surprise me. She's definitely very mentally ill. I mean, the whole story of Chris Chan is an extremely mentally ill, autistic fucking kid raised by the internet because his extremely mentally ill parents would not fucking raise him. Mentally ill people should not have kids because this is what fucking happens.
To elaborate on his feelings towards Bob. The crux of my problem
I'm sorry.
with Barbara comes from two
Gino's going to
sources.
read this. I'm
The
sorry.
first is Bob's
I
bitter
wanted to
influence
read
on
as much
her,
of this as I
which
could
worked to
because I know
separate
he's
our
not going to go into the whole
relationship, just
thing.
as Bob did with his own children, with whom he has no association. In nearly 44 years of life, I've never met a meaner or more reprehensible Republican cur than Bob Chandler. I hope that you will email me when he dies so that I can celebrate. Our mutual hatred has never been a secret, and it points out Barbara's proclivity to isolate herself via scurrilous mates. The second and more compelling issue that permanently ruined my relationship with Barbara is the litany of lies she tells anyone who will listen about the identity of my biological father and about her marriage history. He revealed that he employed a private investigator to track down his biological father, who was most likely a man named Rand Coleman Yates, to whom Barbara was married.
Yeah, honestly, let's be real. Let's be real. He does look like him. I mean, you know what I mean? That's crazy. I want to try to read the top part here. I can't really read the upper part, but it's automatically something, blah, blah, blah. When Barbara thinks of me every single day of her life, just as I think about her, she may not regret the many wasted days of opportunity she had to share a relationship with her first son, but she does regret the fact that the opportunity will never come again. The best she can hope for is to read every word that I write in search of clues that will never come. If you want a kick, Google my name and you'll see some of the many newspapers that run my stuff. Go ahead and send your DVDs to my address listed below. You and I may be related, but our mother only loves you. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I would say that that's very accurate. And it's obviously the same for Bob.
And send your DVD to my address listed below. You and I may be related, but our mother only loves you. As the months progressed, Chris and Megan's strained relationship carried on. She told him that she did not appreciate him depicting her original female characters with breasts, and once more ordered Christian to stop touching her. In May, Chris created a YouTube account called Sonichu and uploaded his first video, a fight on the game Soul Calibur of Chris versus Mary Lee Walsh.
Sage wins. See that?
In June, Megan left for Kentucky, with Chris emailing her frequently, updating her with his activities at the game place and saying how much he missed her. He also mentioned attending an upcoming rummage sale in town, which ended up being reported on in the Daily Progress, with Barbara and Christian receiving an honorary mention. Right behind Ross, Christian and Barbara Chandler were waiting to shop. Christian wanted toys and video games, while his mother wanted to look for fabric.
A fucking 25-year-old man went there fucking looking to buy toys and shit. Now, I will admit, I'm a grown man. I will pick up some shit from time to time. Like, like these, like a Mega Man U2s or something to kind of put on my fucking shelf or whatever. Something to sit on my desk. You know, a lot of these were actually gifts from family members throughout the years. But I mean, come on. I'm not sitting around with my fucking Connor Bedard fucking goddamn Funko Pop and Mega Man and making them fucking battle it out. Like, that's, I mean, come on. I'm a grown fucking man. That's insane. What am I doing? You know what I mean? I'd have to be pretty fucking high to do some shit like that. And, you know, I've been sober for years at this point, so that ain't happening.
In the meantime, Sony held the Chop Chop Master Onions Rap Showdown contest to promote the Parappa the Rapper video game, which required contestants to submit a video of themselves performing a song from the game. However, they were limited to only using their own voices, with the use of backing tracks resulting in an immediate disqualification. The winner would get 2 PSPs and an all-expense trip to Seattle's Penny Arcade Expo. Chris was convinced that if he were to win the competition, he could give one of the PSPs to Megan and then invite her along to
Then she'll
Seattle
fuck you.
so she could fall in love with him and finally take his virginity.
AP Station, my name is Christian Chandler. I live in Bucksville, Virginia. I have a PSP. I like to rap. I play with the rapper. I go with you now. The only song I know is Master Onion, which I got from a demo I bought from my friend Megan.
Chris's video was far from polished, with rehearsal probably kept at a minimum.
That's terrible.
Punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to let test me, I'm sure you'll find that you all things that I teach.
He's gotta read a fucking script.
He inserts various seemingly
He's like
random
Drake,
video
man. He's got to fucking read a script. You know what I mean? He's got to have somebody else write his shit and then fucking read a script and right in front of his goddamn face.
effects, which were at his disposal via the camera he used to film the video, the PlayStation Eye.
Duck and turn, duck and turn. We're gonna jump and pose, jump pose. Come on now, watch it follow my word. Cause it's almost done, it'll make things worse. Do rock on, yo. Na 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 na. Rap, rap, rap. That's a rap.
The following month, Christian found out that his entry made it into the top 10 and was now eligible to the public vote, ultimately due to the low number of total entries. He announced his elation online and urged everyone to vote for him on all his websites and social media. He also emailed several people asking for their vote. This included some unlikely candidates, such as his former guidance counselor from PVCC, Susan Hannafin, and his brother. After some deliberation, Cole agreed to vote for Chris, only after Chris asked their mother about who Cole's real father.
Holy shit. That's fucking hilarious. Jesus Christ, man. Look, he doesn't give a fuck. Cole's out here, like, just trying to figure out who his real father is. And Chris is over here just like, yeah, I don't know much about that shit, but I got a chance to go to Seattle and win 2 PSPs and maybe have sex with Megan Schroeder. Like, look, look at this shit. He's literally just telling Cole all this shit. It's so crazy, bro. It's insane.
Father was. Chris promptly replied that he asked her and claimed that his father was Jack Dale Smithy, which Cole knew to be untrue. Understandably unsatisfied and upset, he continued to email Chris about how Barbara enveloped his life in lies, closing with an earnest wish to be informed of Bob's eventual passing. Chris intensified his campaign by handing out flyers at the game place, urging fellow visitors to vote. He even resorted to voting for his own video by making fake accounts, and gave himself a glowing review. From Quick Sonichu, Video Lucky 7. Such honesty of his situation and devotion for his lucky girlfriend adds great emotions to his performance. The visually appealing effects added the best humor and biggest laugh I had among the bunch. I enjoyed the fun background of his assumed-to-be bedroom, and his informative feedback on playing Guitar Hero on PlayStation 3 was truly a wise and great addition. Also, he has nailed the lyrics a cappella. As this brave autistic warrior so creatively put it at the end,
warrior.
Rap, 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 that's a rap. Truly the cherry on the top of the sundae. A perfect score of 5 out of 5 stars for his marvelous effort, and smiling at knowing he looked a bit stupid. Voting was closed at the end of July. The polls are closed, and I am anxious to find out if I am number 1 of the Rappas or not. I really want that trip to Seattle so I can be with my sweet Megan longer than usual and have fun together. I love her so much. On August 3rd, it was announced that the winner of the Chop Chop Master Onions Rap Showdown was Adam Stackhouse.
Crack, crack, crack the egg into the bowl.
Crack, crack, crack the egg into the bowl.
M-I-X the flour into the bowl.
Chris immediately wrote a strongly capitalized email to Sony, demanding they reconsider. I really wanted that trip so I could have a chance to impress my sweetest Megan and possibly fulfill my dream of getting married and soon have a daughter named Crystal.
Bro,
Yet now
oh my god, it's like watching like, if you ever are like on Reddit or something, or you've ever seen like r/nice guys, it's like one of those reactions. He starts off trying to be all nice about it, and then the minute he gets any slight rejection, he's just like, fuck you, bitch, I'll fucking kill you. And it's just like, whoa, chill. Take it down a notch there, buddy.
A frustrated, high-functionally autistic 25-year-old virgin have been balls broken like I have through a big chunk of my life in America's favorite game,
Balls broken?
Kick the Autistic. Sigh. I had my fantasies of having fun with Megan, taking her to a really extravagant destination. I am not rich. Taking a long-wanted tour of the Nintendo of America Company Tour with her. Playing Guitar Hero against the guy in the Parappa costume. Jamming with Megan in the hotel room. And possibly our first time in bed.
Oh my god.
Life can be so unfair and f***ing corrupt, but I digress. Take the a cappella rule to the max on those 3 out of 10 videos. Take care, Christian Weston Chandler. He argued that the winning entry used a backing track and had to be disqualified. However, since the backing music was actually sung in a cappella, the entry was deemed suitable. Chris seemingly ignored the rule that contestants could not rewrite the lyrics, which Chris obviously did, thusly disqualifying himself. He directed his anger towards Stackhouse in his blog post on the PlayStation Network's website. This is directed mostly to Adam Stackhouse, the SOB who was the alphabetically first video in the Parappa contest and got wrongfully the big prize. This jerk's video was against the no music rule. His, Surya Butchwald, and Aperluski's video all should have been disqualified because they all had music. He also let Megan know about his sorrow. I am angry, depressed, and lonesome, all simultaneously. I worked so damn hard. I sent like over 500 messages between MySpace, PlayStation Network, and AOL. And I even made up over 120 dummy email accounts to match with their dummy PlayStation accounts so I could stuff the f***ing ballot. Sigh. I failed. So much effort. Rapping and dancing with goofy effects to be even considered.
Bro, I guarantee you they could fucking tell what you did. You don't think they could fucking catch that shit? Oh, it's a bunch of just like random shit that has no fucking like content on, you know, come on. All these like random like fake like PSN fucking accounts that aren't linked to shit. Like, come on, bro. Oh, and it just happened to all be made within the same like a couple days. Like, what do you, come on.
The word as far and wide as possible. Wasted. And I did it all for you, Megan.
I did it all for you, Megan.
As I chopped
Spread
the
'em.
onion a la mode dance.
Like, Jesus.
Megan finally let him have a piece of her mind. I just want to say that your behavior has irritated me for the last time. First, I'll start off with saying that I'm glad you didn't win the contest, because I have no interest in going on a trip alone with someone who can't keep his hands off me.
Cook
I'm not
up.
your girlfriend, and I never will be. When I say don't touch me, that means don't touch me. What may seem friendly to you is sexual harassment to me. And I don't like your Megan obsession. I don't like being a character in your comics. I don't like how you made me a character in Soul Calibur and Animal Crossing. That kind of behavior really freaks me out. To release his rage, Christian filmed a video of himself shooting a dart-firing Megatron
Holy
pistol
shit.
at a dartboard.
I did not, I gotta be honest, that is not what I was thinking for a minute. I was like, whoa, fuck. My God.
With a photo of Adam Stackhouse's face on it.
And that is how angry I am at Adam Stackhouse, Aperluski, Rudell, and Surya Butchwald. They should have been disqualified because they had music and more than one person in their Freakazoid videos.
As time went on, his attitude towards Megan changed little, announcing his displeasure at her fraternizing with her friend Christopher. The hugging was one thing, but when I heard the smack of your kiss on his cheek, it started a chain reaction in my head, from OMG to simultaneous infuriation and jealousy. I assure you that I would not do anything extreme to Christopher. Originally, I was not fond of him because it was obvious that he was a homo. Yes, I am a homophobe. I fear them all, and I fear the tormenting temptations of falling off the straight path.
Whoa,
but then I mentally...
Whoa. That explains a lot. He was always closet gay, man. Come on. He's afraid of falling off the straight path. That's not a normal thing. No actually, like, straight person. Like, you couldn't fucking put a gun to my head and make me go gay. You might as well just go ahead and just shoot me, because it ain't happening. No.
Sometimes from a DVD, and if you'll pardon the expression, shove some pussy in my face. I tell you what, if I ever stoop down to changing my path, I might as well get a gender change operation. In late October, Daniel Mims, who frequented the game place, covertly snapped a couple of photos of Chris in mid-battle, and his buddy Lucas uploaded them onto the anonymous image board 4chan. A user on the comedy website Something Awful, who had seen Christian on the UVA campus, created a thread focused on Christian and his comics, unleashing the Christian myth onto the world. Members debated over the veracity of his supposed actions, and those who have witnessed him in person shared their stories. The fascination around Chris quickly spread to other websites. The outlandishness of his situation motivated people to draw inappropriate fan art featuring Chris and his Sonichu characters. On November 3rd, in a thread on 4chan, a user named Evan Christopher George...
This is literally the beginning of all the fucking trolling. Like, it all began right here.
...was encouraged to send Chris an email showcasing a small selection of fan art. This is some fan art of Sonichu my friends and I have drawn. I hope you enjoy it. The included images were Chris hosting girlfriend auditions with no darkies written on his desk, a short comic about Chris losing his virginity by having sex with Sonichu, a graphic depiction of Sonichu masturbating while yelling out, "No darkies, jerk up," and Chris and Sonic Thorndike, a character conceived by one Blaze Sonic, having a stare down. Chris's reply was rather unexpected. Thank you for your fan art contributions. In constructive criticism, I like the one with me and a girlfriend auditions, as well as my glaring in the eyes of the blue guy. But I'm feeling great detest towards the other two. Sonichu and I are not of that nature at all. If you would like to make it up to me though, please draw a strip of Rosechu stripping for Sonichu and have him f*** her.
Oh my
and
god.
And draw Rosechu masturbating and squirting.
Masturbating and squirting. This dude watches way too much porn, bro. Oh my god.
I am straight, damn it. I will not be veered in any other disgustingly grotesque direction. Again, most nasty fan arts are not appreciated at all. Please feel free to share that quote with the rest of the fans. Sincerely, Christian Weston Chandler. We're keeping track. Evan immediately posted Chris's response on 4chan, and in order to archive all future interactions, Jason Kendrick Howell created a page on the satirical Wikipedia-style website, Encyclopedia Dramatica, solely devoted to Christian. Under the assumption that these people on the internet provoking and making fun of him, or trolls, or genuine fans of his, he shared the news with Megan. The good news though is that I've had more fans for Sonichu than I thought. Now the worst to bad. I got this email earlier that had a set of 4 fan art of Sonichu and me. While I enjoyed more the spoof of me sitting by a box on a sidewalk, girlfriend auditions, and the one with me glaring in the eyes of a blue hedgehog in armor. The other 2, in that set of 4, freaked, creeped, and scared the crap out of my head. A lot worse than my freakout over you on Christopher's lap last night. Please keep that in private. In other words, get a room. I sent him a reply with respective criticism. I was infuriated. He also found out about an artist on the website DeviantArt who had made Sonichu-related fan art but did not credit Chris in it, and also discovered the Encyclopedia Dramatica page. In the meantime, Evan continued to send Chris more fan art. I'm very sorry I disappointed you, Chris Chan. I drew what you wished. He sent a drawing of a naked Rosechu having sex with Sonichu, and finally masturbating and squirting out of her gigantic penis. Oh, and here's more art from more of my friends. I didn't draw any of this stuff though, so if you don't like it, I have no guilt. This email included more graphic content, including Mary Lee Walsh and a transgender Rose Chew. Alright, I have one last batch of fan art. I'm sorry to send so many to you, but my friends are really eager to share it all. I hope you enjoy. He attached more fan art, a few more tasteful than the rest. Chris replied, disclosing a link to the ED page about him. Evan coyly denied accountability. What? What a horrible page. I'm sorry. I must wonder how they got pictures of our emails. I hope no one's hacking my email account. Ignoring security concerns, Christian sent another angry email. Do me a favor, draw a vagina on my Rose Chew.
Good
Rose Chew
lord.
is a girl. She never had a freaking pickle.
Oh,
If
yeah?
I see one more freaking pickle, and you may spread this quote to other adult fan artists, I will create you in Soul Calibur
no.
3 and beat you up like there's no tomorrow. Evan replied with a simple uh-oh and a picture of Rose Chew holding a pickle saying, I wish pickles could masturbate and squirt. And Evan saying, fudge, you're going to beat me up in SC3 now, aren't you? I shouldn't have let our souls get fiercely entangled. On November 4th, someone who called herself Vivian G sent an email claiming that she independently created a similar character called Sonichu and wanted Chris to acknowledge that it wasn't stealing. Evidently, he stated that it was fan art and that she shouldn't keep doing it because his characters mean too much to him. Vivian then sent a caps-locked email trying to convince him to improve himself. Jesus, are you so high on your horse that you think it's fan art? Jesus Christ, man, you are irritating me. You are putting me under more damn stress than you'll ever have. I want to express my goddamn self to the internet, and I find that some prick who thinks he's so great can call homosexuals wrong. And I have 2 lesbian friends who would be offended as f by your ignorance, and thinks that going around stalking girls will get you a girlfriend. Newsflash, bitch. You mean nothing to this world, and you will never get laid unless you improve yourself. Your troubles with jerk cops isn't because of them, it's because of you. Fuck off and die.
Jesus.
This entire debacle with trolls
Damn.
encouraged Joshua Martinez to toy with Chris, who first met him at James Madison University, where they both received speech therapy
looks like his
and
brother.
remained as acquaintances. He managed to convince Chris that he regularly schmoozed with movie stars, thanks to his
I
connections
bet.
to the movie business. He contacted Chris and claimed that he found a girl who would like to meet him, when in fact, he was only trolling him. He even pretended to be this Lori and had a conversation with Chris through instant messaging. Christian reported on his elation in an email to Anna. Her name is Lori Lopez. I chatted with her through AOL Instant Message last night. She was really sweet, and not only did I have a great time getting to know her, but, blush, I got turned on. I know that she works at a car lot, I think. She is 23, brunette, brown eyes, and she is a mix of American and Spanish.
Oh, yeah?
If you've watched the movie Into the Blue, the starring woman, Jessica Alba, is an American-Spanish mix as well. He also mentioned her to Megan and even attached a supposed photo of her.
Stupid. She's as
On
hot as
November
Jessica
7th,
Alba.
Chris filmed a video pleading those involved with the ED page to be more respectful about him and take it down, and talked in length about his life and what caused him to be in his current situation.
It has come to my attention that I have a lot more fans of my electric hedgehog Pokemon Sonichu than I had originally thought.
Oh, yeah?
And I thank each and every one of you for your support. And I will draw more comics when I get some positive inspiration or when I feel like it. Everybody has a life, so do I. I have a life. I would like
Do
to
you,
humbly
Chris? Do you?
apologize for appearing to be some kind of sleaze, troll, badass, or whatever adjectives, good or explicit, you may feel about me. Please understand, I am a 25-year-old high-functioning autistic
Quit using
male
this shit as a fucking
with
shield.
a simple, peaceful dream of becoming a father of a sweet, little pretty girl who I will
That you could
dub
that you're
the
gonna
name
try to rape
Crystal
too.
Weston
I'm sure,
Taylor.
because you're a fucking
Crystal,
weirdo.
a name that sounds similar to mine.
Because
but
we
it
all
has
know
a
you
nice
have no
ring
problem
to it.
sticking
He
your
claims
dick in
that
your
his
own family
on
members.
his mother's side stems from British royalty.
Weston, my mother's maiden name, and a proper English name from royal descent. As a matter of fact, among my mother's side in the ancestral traits, we have been traced down to Daniel Weston, who was on the Mayflower voyage, and beyond him,
Oh, sure.
Anne Boleyn, who was the one of King Henry VIII's wives, who gave birth to
Oh, one of the
Queen
ones that he
Elizabeth
killed?
I.
One of the ones that he fucking killed? Because he killed, like, all of them. I think he killed all of them but one. See, divorced one, beheaded one, divorced another, beheaded another. Okay, so maybe he only really beheaded 2, but I think he beheaded 2, and I don't know. Maybe I have no fucking idea, honestly. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
He talks about his upbringing, the struggles of the school system, and his achievements in high school. He defends his methods for finding a sweetheart.
All I did was sit around with a sign by my side that said I was looking for a boyfriend-free girl, 1825, yada, 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 all that page. And I did all that because I have feared rejection and the infinitely high boyfriend factor, because you cannot tell which
Infinitely
ladies
high
are paired
boyfriend
up and which
factor.
are not. And wedding rings, that's just a whole different story, because they're married. Because it's not like you give every woman a ring who's already paired up. And this is one perspective.
God, this fucking dude.
So please understand, I am not a violent person. I'm decent. I come from a
You
caring, loving
pepper
parents.
sprayed a motherfucker over
Kind,
Sonic's arm
considerate.
color.
I will respect your space and
No,
your
you won't.
feelings ever so much. Thank you very much for your time and listening. And please remember, I'm an innocent person, just like most every one of you. I've had my faults. I've had my share of bad times. I have my share of good times. Please understand that. Thank you again. Take care.
With this recent upsurge in interest for Chris, he had the ability to raise awareness for his cause, and maybe even take proper action to prevent further trolling. Or better yet, if he took better care of his online presence,
He's got a
could have made all of
Dreamcast
this
over there.
fade away.
Jesus, man. It is kind of interesting how he's got all of his video games and shit really neatly organized, but like the rest of the house is just a fucking shit show. Yeah, man, you know. What can you say? It's fucked. It's a mess, bro. Anyway, we will continue on with part 5 next time, guys. Inverted 31, peace out.